Alrighty. So, where we left off last time is we've implemented two things. The pick command, and we've updated TMI because there was some inconsistency, but also we fixed the inconsistency issue by making sure that our subscribers are now checked through the badges rather than through the deprecated flags that we were still using. So let's not do that again. So that's perfect. That's good. That's good stuff. I think we are kind of feature complete in terms of what we want out of the Twitch bot. There's only like a couple more things that I could think of putting in the Twitch bot, but I really want to verify that first. So what I might do is, like, off stream, I'll just contact the people that are on the alpha list and just ask if if they could let me know when they were planning on doing VR games, and then they could just try and use it. There's a couple of hypotheses that I want to check during this alpha period or testing period or whatever. We want to make sure that, like, people understand that viewer games stand for viewer games. Viewer games. Join. Because viewer games quite long, and join, I don't know if people are using join already in their chat. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant on using !join without VG in front. But I think VG by itself is just, not the most easiest syntax to remember if you're in the chat. And we all know what Twitch chat is like. Twitch chat is not the brightest, at all times. So VG join, VG leave, VG join, and then what other commands do we have? VG pick, I think, which is only... So we have VG pick, which picks a number, and then we have VG queue, which shows the amount of people, the top 10, I think, that is in the queue. But like what I, for example, want is I want to manage. You want to be able to manage the settings for your viewer games. I just don't know what kind of things they want. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe do an event storming session with the people that are in the alpha to figure out, like, how do they plan on using or doing viewer games, like what kind of stuff are they planning on doing. And for those of you that don't know what event storming is, it's basically just like you're mapping out the events that are running in the different domains that you're touching. So let me just get a picture of bounded context, which makes it a lot easier to look at. So let's look at this context here. So you have a sales context, which has a bunch of like terms that they use in the sales domain. Like if you're working in sales for a company, you might talk about a customer, you might talk about a product that you're trying to sell, you might be talking about you as a salesperson, you might be talking about a pipeline, an opportunity, a territory. While a customer in the support domain, so if you have a support department of your company, they might also talk about a customer, but it might be a completely different customer. Could also be that it's not a different customer, but they could be using the same terminology for different things. And so I know a little bit about the viewer game domain because I'm a streamer myself, but over time I've been looking and watching other streams, and it turns out that people are doing viewer games in a lot of different kinds of ways, which kind of threw me off a little bit because it completely changed the way I looked at viewer games. And so what I think I need to do is I need to take a step back, just run the alpha with them, see if there's anything missing. It could completely fail, but because of the way it's structured, it's very flexible in like what we can change. And so we might be completely missing the mark, but at least, we can give it a shot. So This is the Trello board that I created way back when I started, and I was basically doing the actual viewer game application, so the web app. And then I realized like I could be building the web app, but I'm not even sure if what I'm building is actually what they're looking for. So that's why I just started building the viewer game chatbot instead, and try to get something out as quickly as possible while still having the code kind of maintainable. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have the chatbot talk to the API, so like the web app, so that the web app is managing all the data, and then the Twitch bot is just reading from that data. The problem with that is that it's a lot of extra work, and I'm not 100% sure if I modeled the viewer game app correctly based on the behaviors of the streamers, you know, because I haven't talked to them, which is a mistake. The nice thing is that I found a lot more people willing to help out, which definitely helps with figuring out these uncertainties and figuring out if something could work for them. So what I think I'll do is we need to think hard on like what the next step would be, because in theory we have a fully working prototype. You know, we can leave a viewer game, we can join a viewer game, we can pick people from the queue, and you can see where you are. No, you can see. Oh yeah, we're missing one command, which is like viewer game show ? Which is like, or viewer game position, which is showing your position in the queue. So like the bot would say like your position 1 out of 10 or something. So it will tell you like you're the next person to play with the streamer. And I think the streamer will also need a way to wipe out the viewer game queue, but I think that might be a bit too early, maybe. So what does our queue spec look like? So we're running queue, and it just shows get players. Yep. Last message. The next people in the queue are these. Okay. Okay. So there's no parameters there. Okay. So let's just implement the position then. Position or show. I'm not 100% sure which one is better. But yeah. Position. Add position command. And maybe we can do position username, and then if you don't fill in a username, it just picks your user. I think that might not be a bad idea. So let's implement position.ts. And also, let's also create a spec file for this. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with tests, tests are a lifesaver, because tests will tell you over time if something is still working. So if you are building software, if you're building something cool, and first of all, that's awesome. Building cool stuff is always fun. You probably run the app and you start playing around with it, and then you just, you know, as you build, you look at the thing you're building, and you're just like you're writing code, and then you're alt tabbing to your other window, refreshing, taking a look if something is still working, going back to your editor, building stuff further, and then looking at your your website or whatever you're building, and it's like, wow, it's still working. That's cool. And it is cool if you're starting out, but that is not so cool if you're if your app grows over time, and then you cannot really remember all the things and all the edge cases that you're working with and all the edge cases you had to handle, and you will need to manually start testing the entire app to figure out if everything is working when you deploy it, or you just YOLO deploy and you break something. Neither of these is something fun to deal with, I would say. So pick already has parameters, so let's just copy this one. So VG position, and then it's a lot of duplication. This is also, I still hate this. Users and mods, don't care about that. Parse count for message. Okay. So parse count for message. Yeah, so this stuff is stuff that we should really abstract away or move to the router level where every command just like gets the parameters because it already shaved off the prefix for this. But we can do that in a little bit. Because we know that every class is a prefix. And then we can also probably get rid of this. Message without prefix. First word. That's what we want. Username. We could also say that they're not passing anything. So this is like maybe username. This could be a string, but it could also definitely not be. Could be nothing. What was I talking about? Yeah, so tests. I was talking about tests. So tests are your saver in this case, because you're literally writing what the app is supposed to do. So when I describe the pick command, which is a class, and I test that the test method is working, I expect that if I test this with this value, that it should be false. If I test it with this value, that it should be true. And so you're writing all of these small behaviors that your application is supposed to do. When the message contains random characters, it should do nothing. When the message contains 0, it should not do anything. When the message is empty, it should not do anything. When the user is a broadcaster, it should work normally, and stuff like that. And you continuously build up test cases on cases that you want your code to cover, so that in the future, if you're changing something, you still know that it is working as intended. And so, the best thing about this is, or maybe it's not the best thing, but it's a nice side effect, is that you don't ever, in theory, you don't ever actually have to run your app, because you just know by running your tests, if you have good coverage, that everything is working. What's up, Jeroen? So it's saving you a lot of time. You don't have to constantly look back and forth. You just whenever you feel like I want to see how the app is doing, you just open the app and everything should work fine. Apart from edge cases that you didn't cover in your tests, but those would have also happened if you didn't test them. So, okay, so we have the messages with the message without the prefix, and then we're splitting on all the spaces. So if we have an empty string and we're splitting on a space, it will be empty string. Okay, so at least we know that this will always guarantee to give us a string, which is good in one way. So let's say, so this is not parse count. This will be parse username from message. Chilling, how are you? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. So this is either string or null. So if the maybe username is equal to empty string, return null. And otherwise, return maybe username, and then it's guaranteed to be a string. Or we can just say username because it's like prettier. So that's cool. So now we have guaranteed a username, kind of. So we have username. If the username is null, then just actually, if the username is null, then we just fall back to the user username. That's what we wanted. So when somebody's typing position for someone else, so for the username, we would use that. Otherwise, fall back to your own username. So we're finding the position of the queue. Okay, so let's get the position. So I think we have a get position method, so that's excellent. So
well,
then...
life gives you lemons.
Yo, Vincent!
39波
What the fuck? Sorry, what now? Excellent! Yo, Vincent, thank you so much for the 39 centuries in a row of resubscribing. Welcome back. How are you? Have a good day. Finished the client build for 95%. Just need to top off the liquid a bit and do some overclocking. Okay. Okay. I like it. So this will give us the position in queue. And what we also need is the total amount of players in the queue, I think. Do we also have that? Player count, yes. So we need to do two queries here. And if either of them fails, then we're gonna say we couldn't get the thing. Because it's like, it's nice to know that you have, it's nice to know your position. Actually, what does this return us? Just the position? Okay. Let me see how it's implemented. So maybe we can do some optimization there. Because even if I'm getting it from the API, it might not be a bad thing. Okay, we're just getting the position. So what is the position getting? Index of, just index of plus 1. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's just keep it like this. It's fine. So this is gonna be total player count, or total player count in queue. A bit verbose, but maybe total player count is good enough. Total player count. Assigned but never used, yes. So if it could not, we send a message. So if it could not fetch the position or the player count, we say, oh, that's interesting. If the position is what can a position be? A number, always? What does it do when memory queue? What does it do when, oh, we get null. So it's number null, actually. That's the streamer queue. And what is the position? Reject, false. So when no user is found, we reject with false. Okay. Okay, I think we want to have this as separate. Had to tear down the system once though before, because I forgot to foil under the CPU monoblock. That's not what that means. Okay, so let's do separate calls here because shit. Okay, we need to do promise at all here because I don't want to do like waiting for one another because we don't actually need to wait. It's a monoblock? I have no idea exactly. What is a monoblock? Okay, how do I catch promise at all? Like what kind of format? Catch? Paired up message. How do I know from which one it's coming from? That's not fun. That is no bueno. Android Studio? No. This is TypeScript. But welcome Renbog. How's it going? And welcome Dayum Hey. How's it going? The little plastic thing under the CPU cooler when it's new. Oh. Is that called a monoblock? Fuck. No, I forgot to remove that. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, this is not so fun, actually. So if promise at all has a rejection. So if promise at all has a rejection, it will just catch and then you will just get the error from it, but you won't ever know which one. That's not super nice, you know? So what I could be doing let's just write the code and then see. So promise at all takes an array of running promises. So no await here because that would defeat the purpose of doing, you know, promise at all. So you will pass in two promises that are running, and then you get your results back. You can await the promise at all, and it will return you an array of two things. First result, second result. So what I can do is I can assign them to the already existing let block. Now this is pretty much exactly what I just did before. Except that it's now running parallel, which is a little bit faster. So it won't wait for this one to finish and then move on to the next one. These will run in parallel. That's great, but if now one of them fails, I don't know which one of them failed. So that's not so fun. And I also don't know if promise reject is a failure. I think it is. Yes, it is a failure. Okay. Does not make sense. Should not throw a boolean but an instance of an error. Okay, so what we can do is we can change the memory implementation and we can say new error. And then we can just create an error for this. Errors. I don't know if I do single or a plural, because here I do plural, but... Oh, and here I do contract error. Okay, let's just do error for now, and then it's like... Fuck, what kind of error is this? This is like... Could not... Not... User not in queue. Like error. User not in queue error. Sure. Export class user not in queue error extends error. This is it. This is all I do. Excellent. Let's export star from user not in queue error And then import user not in queue error from error. I think errors might look better. Okay, user not in queue, and then we say, so here get position we do return null. That's fine because we just use it here, and then we just do user not in queue error. So we reject with that. Excellent. Okay. And now we can pull this in. Okay, let's move this out of repositories because they're kind of like they're like in the queue domain, you know, like they're not a repository thing. They're just errors, you know. They're just yeah. Okay, excellent. And then so in the queue, we get users not in queue, and then we say if the error instance of equals to user not in queue error, then we're gonna say the username is not in the queue. Dots. Sounds good. I think that makes sense. And then we promise that resolve. Otherwise, code. Not a big fan. Otherwise, what are we gonna do? We're also gonna say if it's something else, then we're just gonna say could not get the position for username. What's up, Lars? So that's nice. Okay, it's not the most elegant code, I'm not gonna lie. It's error handling. What Twitch wrapper am I using? Sub Denny? What do you mean Twitch wrapper? Like the client that I'm using to like connect to the Twitch chat? The library I'm using is just TMI. TMI. I don't even know why. I think it's just because I've used it in the past. Okay, so if all is good, then I can just format the message and then we're good. And then this is done. This was 28 minutes and I was just talking longer than actually building it. So it shows the power of our code, and then all we need to do is write tests and then we're good to go. But there's a lot of refactoring that we should be doing because like looking at the code by itself, we now have a proper understanding of like how our commands work. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna say what are we saying? What are we saying? If I just return, does it? It's already an async function. So if I just return, does it also resolve? I think it does, right? What a shit show of code. Wait, are you talking shit about my code? God damn. What is the final message going to be? Okay, so hold up. I think it's nicer if we talk into if the person itself is, you know, asking the question. So what we can say is like, is yourself, is same person, is asking for, oh god, now I need to make it, how do I make it gender neutral? I'm like, is asking for himself, but it's not always a him, you know? Or is itself. Not the most clear-ass thing, but if username is equal to username, then we're good to go. Okay, so if it's self, then we should change the messaging, because then it's like, you're not in queue. Oh god. Okay. You're not in the queue, you dingus. Awesome. Asking for self. Cool. Way more clear. Okay. The message is... Oh man, this is formatting up top. So if you're not asking for yourself, then use this. If you are, then use... Oh boy. Formatting will fix it. If you're asking for yourself, then your position in the queue is position in the queue / total player count in queue. And otherwise, it is the user. No. Why are we referring to the user? Why are we not just saying the user? The person. Also, we're using the username, not the display name. That's also a problem. That's an interesting problem, actually. That's a very interesting problem that I already just thought about. Is the username always the same as the display name? Because what I'm afraid of is like, if you have a Chinese username, like with Chinese characters, isn't the username different from the display name? Like, isn't the username like actual, I think I've seen like those usernames show up as like numbers and stuff. It's kind of weird. Is target? It's not really the target, you know? So we can just do a username for now. It's fine. Username, because we don't know the formatting anyways, so this is fine, I think. Username, position in the queue is same thing. Save. Okay. This is one of the things I hate about Node. It's all good though. Okay, let's write the test for it. Let's write the test for it. Copy pasta the test. Because they're very similar. Position. And then we need a user. We don't care if it's a mod. Our user is Bob Ross. So Mike, your code does not look clean. Thanks. Position. Okay, so let's first test with when passing an unknown username, should send a message saying user is not in queue. So if we're saying viewer game position with I don't know, unknown, then the last message sent should be to be shit, what was it again? Inline snapshot? To match inline snapshot, yeah. And then when... So we need to verify whether that's actually gonna work. But when we're sending a number that should behave the same way, because it just doesn't find a user. When the message is empty, oh, we already have a test case on the previous one. When you're not sending a message, it should get the position of the user that's asking. Okay, so if I do position with nothing, then it should tell me my own position. So I need to make sure that I have a position for this test. Be fairly easy. So what I need to do is, by default, I'm using the memory queue, so that's perfect. What I can do is I can just create an instance of this myself and just pass it to the client. Where was I? Here. So when the message is empty, it should get the position of the user that's asking. So let's create a queue repo. Repo is this. So now we have access to a mock repo. Now we're just gonna perform an action on the mock repo. So we're gonna do, or what we really care about is that we're just calling the repo correctly. What's a memory queue? So memory queue is an implementation of a queue. And so it just stores the people that have joined the queue in memory. So like when I close my application, everything is wiped. Because we still need to figure out how people are going to use this thing before I want to make a final call on like what data store we're going to use or how we're going to store it. The memory part threw me off. Understandable. Yeah, so what I could do instead is I could just like mock the queue. Because like I don't need to. Like all I care about in this test is that it should ask for the position. Get position. And that it should give, and it should be calling it with my name. And so like I can return it 1. And then it should also mock the get player count here. Let's do 10 here. And then I can just like repo, and then we just build it with the repo. And if I call VG position, it should call it. So that's what I should test for. So here I should test not so much the message, because I can do that in a later test. Or I can do it here, it's fine. Doesn't really matter. What I should like check for is whether we're calling the repo get position correctly to have been called with channel and then the username that I want to go for. So in this case, that should be the user.username, because like we didn't send anything. So by default, we should be calling, if like the name is empty, if the user.username, or like if we're not passing a message with the username, we're using the default username, and then we should call position with the username, and then the channel doesn't really matter. Cool, so this should show 1 out of 10 with the message. So now we've got that covered. So then we have one more case to cover, when the message contains a user that is in the queue. It should show the position of the it should say the position of where this user is in the queue. That should be it. Excellent. So we can just copy pasta this one. We don't really care about the rest of these because it's not. Oh yeah, we can also cover these. So when it fails for other reasons, because we're also saying that. Okay, yeah. Let's just keep those. I don't think we need these two. So get position is called with the username that we're asking for. So in this case, Bob Ross. So now it should send target user is just Rakats or something. I don't know what current user we're using. Bob Ross, okay. So if we're sending the position, we're asking the position of the target user, but we're asking it by Bob Ross, then we should ask the repository for target user and not the user username, and then it should have said something along the lines of my name plus something else. So we'll figure it out once that runs. Run Jest watch. And then when the queue is empty, we don't really care about that one. But when it fails, so when get position fails, when getting the position fails, it should send a message in chat. So when get position throws a okay. Now we need this error as well. I think we can just type it actually, because then it will auto import, which is nice. User not in queue, done. So when the user, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Oh, okay, so here's where we're going wrong. Will it go wrong, actually? No, it's using the memory implementation, so in theory it should work, but I don't think our test should rely on the memory implementation, so let's just move this here. So when get position throws, like, returns a promise rejected with this, and then it should say nothing. We don't really pass anything. Okay, and then in this one we can say when Yeah, username not in queue. Yeah, okay. And then for this one, when getting the total player count fails, should send a message in chat. So like when the other one fails, and we still need both methods actually, because otherwise it's gonna fail. So we can say like this one. And so for the other one as well, get position. So if let's say the other one passes, so this one will now throw something else. You know, I don't know. Promise.reject. New error. Something went wrong. Or oopsie whoopsie. That's what we did in the other one, I think. Then when the player count fails, go to position something, doesn't really matter. We should send a message. Okay, so this message will fail the test, which is fine. And we have a problem. Position command is not a constructor because we didn't register it in index. Saw that one coming. Position. It's not working because it's still called pick commands. Position commands. Cool. Prefix position. Should reject to false when the user... Okay, yeah, so we've broken the memory queue repository spec, but that's okay because it should be... We changed behavior there. That's okay. So let's find that test that should reject to false. That should be reject to be instance... Ooh. Oh, I think you can, like, you can assert an error. To be instance off, we can also do that. Reject with user not in queue error. Okay, position to be true, returned false. Okay, that's already interesting. Oh yeah, I don't think we updated that test actually. We copy pasted. No, position. Where? Position. What? Wait, am I importing the right class? Oh, we're not. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, a lot of shit goes wrong when you do that. To be instance of... Okay. So a lot of the tests passed because, well, we haven't really validated the message yet. So let's validate the message. No. Okay, that's wrong. Say channel unknown's position in the queue is undefined. That's not good. That's not good at all. Interesting. Also, it did not throw this. But I thought we just... Whoopsie whoopsie console log. Error. New user not in queue error. So how is it not an instance of this? What? I'm confused. Is this some JavaScript crazy shit? Is this not the... You serious? New user not in queue error. False. What? Time for Google. TypeScript instance of error not working. Instance is broken when class extends error type. Unfortunately, this is a change that we made to try to adapt a more standard compliant emit that we should enable Polymer to work in TypeScript. What? What is this? Seriously? Oh, TypeScript. There's this love-hate relationship I have with you. Love-hate relationship I have with you. Why does extending built-ins like error, array, and map work? In ES 2015 constructions which return an object implicitly substitute the value of this for any callers of super. It is necessary for generated constructor code to capture any potential return value of super and replace it with this. As a result, subclassing error and others may no longer work as expected. Okay, so it's a JavaScript thing. Okay, so let me see if this works. No idea if this is gonna do anything. Args. Args. Sweet. Are we working now? Oh, fuck off. TypeScript. Easy. Any. Slap any on it and it just works. Okay, let's see if JavaScript is fixed now though. Okay, it's not. That's good because this is not really doing anything. Just wanted to make sure. Recommendation. Okay. Cool. It's kind of like big sad. This is actually big sad though, but actually big sad. Yeah, just like take everything. Any this. Sick. Are we working now? JavaScript? Are we good? True! Oh my god. Jesus Christ, this language. Love-hate relationship with JavaScript as well now. Excellent. However, any subclass of foo error will have to manually set the prototype as well. For runtimes that do not support object set prototype off, you may need instead be able to use proto. Yeah, we're working with Node, so it's fine. We're good. That's a yikes, though. That's pretty yikes. That's pretty yikes. But That's actually interesting because I think we have, at my job, I think we have application code that does like something like this. Because of the way that you cannot like specify types for what you're catching, you're literally catching everything, always. So you need to catch specific ones and then rethrow. Maybe this is prettier? Question mark? Oh. Okay. That's what we're already doing. Sick. Okay, let's just do this then. It's just so that that error is also out of the way. Message. Cool. Okay, that's pretty ugly. I'm not a fan, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so that's working. Kind of. Not the happiest of happiest people, but you know, all we need to do is get it to work. That's all we care about. So the message of null does not match with the message that we're actually getting. Unknown is not in the queue. Maybe that's a shit message. Maybe it should be something like has not joined the queue yet. That's also not true. Oh, we don't have the error case for when you're asking for yourself, so we're not covering that test, actually. Yep. When the message or when the current player is not in the queue, it should be test, right? That's what we're doing here. Am I doing it right for the rest? No. I think we're using test everywhere. Why did I make that decision? Test should what should it do? Send a message that the user is not in queue. Saying current player is not in queue. Okay. This as well. Ba-dum-bum-bum. You're not in the queue, you dingus. That sounds like a great message. So let's copy whatever we did for the failing with user one. And then just do the same for this one. But then for itself. The user is not in queue error. What's the problem? Oh. Message question mark. Excellent. Okay, that's fine. Yep. This is all gonna fail. So let's do it one by one. I think you can do that. Update failing like snapshots interactively. Wait, what? Snapshots reviewed. 3 snapshots updated. Wait, what the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't press update. Okay, so there's still a test case failing here. Your positioning queue is this, which doesn't make any sense. Let's just update these tests. So this one should be... No, that's definitely not the message that it should be. When a total play count fails, what we expect the message to be is like... this. Oh. Oh shit, I've replaced the wrong thing. Oh, oops. Okay, this should be here, and then we should have a message saying could not get the current what should it say? Something went wrong. This is like could not get the position for username. It's not a pretty message, but oops, could not get the position for blah. Okay. Could not get the position for Bob Ross. Okay, that's correct. User gets position in queue is 1 out of 10. That's correct. Your position is 1 out of 10. When the message is empty, should get the position for? Yes, that's correct. Do we not have one? Do we not have one where I'm getting the position for a different user? Oh, this is just our cats. Okay. Do not get the position for Bob Ross. Correct. That's correct. When it's for yourself, you're not in queue, you dingus. Your position in queue is 1 out of 10. That's correct. Unknown is not in a queue. Excellent. So we got everything covered. So that's cool. Code is not pretty though. It is very explicit. But I don't think we have to make it more complicated though. We just need to start like refactoring this and like refactoring this and like move that all to the router logic so that when it gets to a command, it just gets the params that are coming after it. Which I think makes more sense. Man, I don't like this at all. Hate this. I hate this. Alright, is that a comment explaining why the fuck do we need that though? TypeScript, or at least TypeScript is the one explaining it, but in reality, it's like a JavaScript problem. Oh God. I'm not gonna add this for every error I'm gonna create though. So I'm not really sure whether I should abstract this away. Just like monkey patch all of the errors so that they do this. Okay, let's see. So I cannot version a wiki. That's kind of sad. Because like if this page is gone, then it's gone, you know? That is a bit sad. Why doesn't extending built-ins like error work? Is there a way I can get a versioned version of this? Ooh. Excellent. This works. Cool. All right. Awesome. That is nasty as fuck. But at least my future self will know. Okay, so this is expected. So we don't reject with false anymore. We now reject with an error. That is the error. Let's start with that. Reject with user not in queue error rather than false. And then actually just the position. Add position command. Cool. Okay, so let's get this one. Let's review this before we merge, and then let's start refactoring some of this stuff. And then I think, like, in terms of feature set of like the most basic ass Twitch bot, is now fine, which means that we can start testing it and see in the wild how people are gonna use it, and then see what we actually need to build. And also, let's see if they actually would like to use it, you know? Let's see if they're happy with it. Let's see if people are actually willing to try it out. Description, so this adds the VG position username command that falls back to the person that asks that uses the command. Cool. So I always still, even though I'm working on my own projects, I still always create pull requests, and I always still review my own code before merging, because I also spot a lot of the ugly code. Or I sometimes comment my own code just by like scrolling through it and see as if this like was written by someone else. This, for example, is something we need to look into, because in Jest, there's no real easy way to like safely whatchamacallit? Safely mock a repository. So like we're doing these like nasty monkey patches here to still partially mock something that we know is important. But this could in theory later on actually cause some nasty bugs. Or like not nasty bugs, but it might slip through some edge cases. On the other hand, I think it will just crash. So in theory, like it will call a method on something that doesn't have. So I think it might be fine. Position commands, prefix. This code we knew is a little ugly. Asking for self. It's not the most explicit variable, I would say. This is just standard like node stuff when you're doing try catch blocks, but you don't want to like handle it inside. It's not pretty, but it works. Otherwise I needed to move this inside here, but then if there's more operations we need to do, then yeah, not great. You're not in the queue, you dingus. Do we have that in our test? You're not in the queue, you dingus. Yes, we are. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's try and use it though. Before we merge. Let's actually see if people can break it, you know? So yarn workspace viewer gamebot start. Let's see if you guys can use it. So let's do viewer game position. Should say you're not in the queue. Excellent. Viewer game position to Denny. Denny's not in the queue. It's also correct. Viewer game join. And then I say viewer game position. That's correct. Viewer game position. Just draw cats. That's not in queue. Okay, so that's an edge case. So I think our memory queue repository is just explicitly checking by username without lowercasing it. But I think we're storing it lowercased. Yeah, so that's what I was already thinking. So we're storing it lowercased, but we're not reading it lowercased. Let's read it lowercase, and now that should be fixed. So that's a test case that we need to check for. Get position. Where's position? To be able to join, leave, and get position of the queue. Test should be able to should work with different capitalization. Is that how you spell that? Yes. Let's test that. Let's create a new memory repository. And then we do repo.join streamer hello world streamer. Okay, so expect join to be true, and then expect await repo dot get position streamer hello world to be 1. See, that works. Yes. And so if we just change the capitalization here, so hello world, completely different. Cool, awesome. Cool, okay. Got that covered now as well, so that's fixing a bug. Cool. Excellent. Fix bug where position does not work with capitalized username. Already expected that. So what I haven't tested is using this with like display names with like very strange characters. So I know some users have like usernames with like Chinese characters, for example, and then their username is super different from their display name. So, but since I don't know how the Twitch chat handles those cases, it's very hard to like write tests for them, because like it depends on like how we create the user for Twitch in order to get that working. So I just need to test that, I think, on the side to figure out like how that works. Because I rejoined, so now if I do video game join and I do video game position 1, that's correct. VG position just draw cats should also be 1, and then video game position just draw cats should also be 1 out of 1. Okay, excellent. So, but now it doesn't say your position, because we're also comparing here with a non-capitalized version. while the username, like the message here is not the same. So like we are parsing a username here. So I think when comparing, I think here we should just do 2 lowercase. Let's write a test for that as well. When the user checks the position for itself, but with different capitalization. Very long test description, but like to be explicit. Should still match and show a personalized message. Cool. Let's check the case where it's me. Here. Perfect case. So let's also create our own user now instead of like using the global user here. So we know what user we're working with. Test user. So Bob Ross. So let's say target, yeah. So target username and then test target user. And then we just have a randomly cased user. So Bob Ross. Sure. And then we just do here to lowercase. Excellent. So we have a target user name, target user here. And then we check the target user name. So repo should be called with the target user name. And then yeah. It should say not just Rakatz's position, but it should say your position in the queue. Let's see if that works. Excellent. Awesome. So that's a case we've covered. So now if I were to refresh, should be using Nodemon here, but it's fine. VG join. For VG position, should say you're not in the queue, and then VG join, and then VG position, just draw cats. And say your position. Excellent. Okay, cool. Fix a bug where different capitalization. What? Capitalization does not trigger as self. Very long commit messages too. All right. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good here. Should work with different capitalization. Should reject with this. Kind of a weird diff because it's the same here, but lowercase that. Okay, cool. So we have when passing an unknown username, it should send a message saying that the user is not in the queue. When the message is empty, it should get the position of the user that's asking. When the current player is not in the queue, it should send a message saying the current player is not in the queue. When the message contains a user that is in the queue, it should say the position of where the user is in the queue. User gets position is 1 out of 10. When getting the total player count fails, it send a message in chat. Oops, could not get the position for Bob Ross. Yes, that's correct. It gets it from the username. When the user checks the position for itself, but with different capitalization, should still match and show a personalized message. Your position in the queue is 1 out of 10 when we're targeting myself with different capitalization. Cool, so the tests are covering, I think, most cases. Yeah, so we should be using, in the messaging, we should be using the display name. But then the display name might not match with what we're using here. Yeah, so that's really annoying. So I think maybe in the queue repository, we also need to store the display name of the user. Yeah. I'm just thinking because the I'm not sure if Twitch gives you like an ID of which Twitch user is in Twitch chat, or whether you need to get that through their API. So like you find the Twitch user ID through the username that he's using. But yeah, I don't really want to time my app to like Twitch, you know? In this case, we're like this Twitch bot is not necessarily a Twitch bot. The way it's set up is that we can just hook in different clients, and so we can hook it into Twitch. We can also hook it into YouTube chats. So that's why I don't want to bind my repositories to that either. But anyways, okay, nice that we got that going. So I think this is good. So it should work with different capitalizations. Join with hello world. Get position with this. Get position with this. All should be working. Reject with this. That's fine. Lowercase. Yep. And username is always a string, so that's perfect. Okay. Merge that. Cool. All right, next up, let's just start refactoring some of this because I'm not the biggest fan of how this works. Do we have tests for the router? We do. Okay. So still don't know what we were gonna do with self, but we're ignoring it. Okay, excellent. So there's no command to run because this is a command router. There's no command to run, then we're not doing anything. But like what we're sending is exactly what we're getting almost. Like we're passing in the client so that you can send messages. Passing in the channel. Are we using that? Let's pick one random command. Is that needed for say? Say channel. Okay, yeah. Okay. The channel, the message, and the user. And then the message contains the full message, even though we've already tested every command for a matching one. So even though we're matching by the commands, so we're finding a command that matches, and then when it finds one, we're running the command, and then we're passing it the message. But like we can easily strip off of the commands the first bit. What we also need to solve is in commands, the username is somehow optional. Because in Twitch, when we're building up this user, username is question mark. So somehow Twitch could possibly send us a message with username like optional. Could be that they're not sending us a username of the message. And I wonder if that's when Twitch is sending a message. But if that's the case, then we should probably also ignore it. So on message here, I think what we should do is we should ignore when the username is not there. But in that case, our on message would sometimes not get messages, which would be kind of weird, I guess. What we can do here, though, is we can... Yeah, so I don't think the Twitch client should ignore. Username or null. So I think what we should agree on is that the display name is always a string. And then here, it's like not that. This is a struggle because on message handler, user state interface. So for every client, we're expecting a username and a display name to be there. So what we can do is we can just return empty string instead of null. We can do that in router level though. But then this interface doesn't work. Because like we want to work with this interface, but what in reality we get back is the Twitch client is giving us something different. So I guess we should ignore all the... Because like we should only really expect the username to be there. Like we... Oh, this is nasty. This is so fucking pissy, man. Yeah. TMI message from Twitch. Known verified bots. Special status for bots who enhance the Twitch user experience are trusted, known, and verified. Both statuses have a higher chat limit than regular users and not them from automat mode. Request verified bot status. Please fill in the thing here. I just want to see what they send when... Yeah. Clear chat. Purchase a chat user. I just don't know if... No, this is like what I'm sending. Okay, so this is message ID tags. Notices. So this is version 1.8.3. Website. Tags. Is that what they call it nowadays? Tags? Tags display name? Message starts with this, argument this, lowercase. What can I, how can I trigger this? How can I trigger a message that is related, that will not give me a username back? If I guess when the bot says slow off, let's see. I don't know if it will fail to compile now, but message. No, well, it just give me everything. Arguments. I think this will fail to compile. Arguments object cannot be referenced in... Oh, that's true. Yeah. These are error functions, so arguments won't work. Okay. Then we'll just do it the hard way. Okay, let's console log every message. And I think this will fail to compile, because this will not compile, but let's see what it does. I think this will fail. Yeah, that's how it should be. Let's just return an empty string here. And then, hold up, let me just say when the message is... So in here, if the message equals to yo, hello, then there's a client.say just rockets. Is that what I need to fill in? I don't know what channel is. Is it Hashtag JizzRockets? Probably hashtag JizzRockets. Slow off. Let's see what it does when I do that. Very curious. So when I now say yo hello, TwitchBot should say something. Okay, here we go. Could not parse notice. Warning. Slow off. So we're executing slow off, and then notice this room is not in slow mode. Raw. Tags. So is all of that. All of that is in user state? Or maybe this is not user state anymore. Where is the actual TMI connection? Here. Client on. Message. Oh god. Listener type P. So this is T, event is P. So we're listening to P. Listener type T event record P, T event record. Override methods. Oh boy. P extends key off T record T. What? Here, register an interface here. Any. Oh, okay. Pick. Strict event emitter. What the fuck? This is crazy. Strict event emitter types. So they're talking about tags, chat user state, message, chat, action, whisper. Username is maybe there because this does not have a username. Common user state, parameter string. Oh, okay. TMI sent TS. What does that mean? Rams. Okay. What does that give me back? When I do that, I get JizzRockets and this back. So when the message type is chat, we can ignore all the other ones. Oh, this one doesn't even have message type. What the fuck? Message type chat. And then this is himself. Message type chat. Yeah, so what we really are filtering for is message type chat. And then from that point on, we kind of know. Or we do this, but even though we know that this is always there, we can check it here. Oh boy. User state dot message type. I'm not sure if that's safe to look for. Oh, user ID is there. We can also use the user ID. don't know if there's a benefit to that though. I guess there's a benefit. No, because we're not searching by user ID. Message type. I guess we can check for it. If message type and or if there's no message type, or the user state message type does not equal to chat, then we can ignore it. Because it could also be, I guess, that this user receives a DM. So let me see how that works. So if I start DMing this user, what happens? How do I even DM? How do I whisper? Whisper. Test. Oh. Test. Did it just receive a DM? Yeah, so it just received a whisper from me. So we also need to ignore the whispers because we don't really care about that. That's good. Okay. I don't know what other message types we're gonna get, but if it's not message type or message type chat, then just return. Not do anything. Don't call the callback. Otherwise, call the callback, and at this point, we can pretty much guarantee that the user is a string. And I still say as string. Yes. Because we know as for a fact that this is a string, like guaranteed. That's only because of the if statement before, though. So, like, we really need to be careful where this is used. Yeah. Okay. So that means that we can now update all of the commands. We should also have a return type here because I'm getting pissed off by this ugly thing. Now we can remove this because there's never not a username. This is always a string. This is always a string. And there's also there's also never not a display name because the Twitch client is falling back to the username. And so we can also remove this now. So now we cleaned that up. Makes me happy. Okay. That's good. Excellent. So let's go over all of them and just remove this. User display name, awesome. Promise.void. Pick here. This can be gone. User is mod, that's fine. Cool. That's at least some of the duplicated code gone. A happy person. And we also need to not check for that because we know username is always there. Cool. Promise, void. Channel, this is all good. Sweet. Nice. Okay, let's see if our test still pass. That's the beauty of it. Awesome. So let's restart. Let's see if everything is still working integration-wise, because I don't have any integration tests. So that's still manual. That's working. And so I still have that router thing still there, so I can still test that as well. Router. Yo, hello should do something. What's up, Lara? How's your new computer? And how are you? Where is this console log actually? Or is this just debug? I think this is debug. Because I don't think the Twitch client still has the console log. No. Okay. Chrome is not in slow mode. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think this is already a lot better. So now we've removed this optional and we've like runtime guarded against this. We cannot do this at like really at build time because of the types that are shipped with tmi.js, but from this point on, like we're pushing this as far to the Twitch client as possible. And so like our code is still properly checked at build time. So let's get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. But the rest is fine. Refactor user types. Remove those checks. Let's see if we have somewhere else still those checks. Maybe in some of our tests. Doesn't care about the user factory. No, that's all good. Why is this red? I don't know what that means. What's up, Lisa? How's everybody? I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, I don't think we're really testing against the case of not having a username there. Because fuck that. It's fine. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good here. Let's go through one PR at a time. Refactor username not being optional. Very happy about this. It cleans up one step at a time. You don't always have to do everything at once. Description. tmi.js allows for all kind of message or all kind of event listening, including status or notice messages from Twitch. For example, whenever you try to run a command on a channel. Since the bot does not really care about doing actions, all it really does is listen to messages, chat messages, and say stuff. We can rule out all the cases where Twitch is trying to send messages, because Twitch will never join a viewer game. I don't think the Twitch chat like itself, the machine, the system will join a Twitch viewer game. So I think we can rule that fact out. So let's type in this. So Twitch is sending a message type for every chat message. Let's actually check if this is not deprecated. Twitch chat message type. Twitch. Oh, this is tags. Okay, so there are tag specification. Double fee. Can't believe there's still, like, IRC is still actively developed, you know? These specs are coming from, like, copyright 2016, 2019. Pretty insane. IRC is still going on. Finished since the start, just don't understand coding? All good. Thanks, though. Dun, 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 dun. Still don't know. I'm just scared that we're using something that's deprecated again because, you know, we've been using is subscribed, but it turns out that's also tmi.js message type. Message type action. This is not tags. So maybe we should rename that too. It's probably for the better. Twitch client. Tags. Channel tags message. And then there's another one, self, I think, but I'm not sure if that's even there anymore. It is. Okay. This event listener. Yeah. Okay. Function. User state. Oh, they still, in the type, they still call it user state. We're using the right type version? I think we just upgraded, but I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like the same. Because this is like 1.7.1, while the other one is 1.8.2. Dun, 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 dun. Type definition, yeah. So this is a bit, you know, this is seems to be right. The latest version. tmi.js commander. Commander is a library to simplify command integration into Twitch client. Commander register command. Hello. Hello command. What? Are you serious? Somebody already wrote something for this, and I just wrote this from... Oh my god. Fine, though. This is fine. I'm not opposed to this, this interface, though. Origins channel. Say hello world. Command origins. What is command origins? Huh? Right, let's see. Types. Command origins. Identifier, arguments, channels, or channel, author, client. Arguments is a string, is a array of strings. Parse origin. Yeah, so he just does exactly what I do. He just splits the message on his spacebar, and then he shifts one. Huh. That's interesting. He shifts off the identifier. Oh, I guess, yeah, you can do that too. Not opposed to that idea. What do we do in the router? We test. And then most of the times we test with starts with. Not a bad thing either. What's up, the mouse muckard? How's it going? Had some amazing Goodwill finds today. What did you find? Twitch will never join us. True. Invoke, promise, void. It's kind of like what I'm doing, to be honest. Oh, I didn't even know there was abstract classes in TypeScript. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe we should turn this from like params like this to like an object as well, like here too. A wooden crocodile, a cast iron Celtic coaster, and an old potisserie glass pot. Did I pronounce that? I've never heard of that word in my life. Did I sell myself in a thrift shop? What? Where? Not sure if I should rename to tags because, you know, the type itself is called user state. So I guess I'll just keep it user state. It's fine. Okay, let's continue. We're just reviewing. Message type for every chat message. Since we're only concerned about chat messages, not DMs or whispers or status messages from Twitch itself, we can safely ignore these. Maybe in the future we shouldn't do that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have a concept of status messages. Maybe they should be listened to somewhere else. Maybe a client should be able to listen to status message. I don't know what YouTube does, for example, the YouTube client. So keep it like this. Whatever we don't need, we don't need. Remove that. Remove this. Use display name directly. Sick. Nice. Awesome. Easy peasy, easy progress, easy stuff that we can, you know, get some quick wins for. Easy peasy. Next up, let's refactor. Let me see. Let's refactor the way our router passes the message on, because as soon as the command is tested, we really don't care about the command itself. And since we know the prefix, what we can do is we can, let's see. What we ideally want is, let's take a look at the spec. What we want is test. Well, we're testing with the join command. Fake failing command. Unknown. What we're trying to test is it should be calling the command with the proper stuff. We're not actually testing that here. With a known command, with a failing command. Test should pass the right arguments to the command. Because like TypeScript knows that it's a string. Like we need to know what kind of string we're passing. I think that's what we should still test. So like what we should probably do is create a fake command here. Return just fn. Wait, can I do this? True. And run the same. So what we're doing here is we're replacing these methods with just fn functions. If we want, we can actually do it here. No, it's fine. Fake or mock command. This is where it would be nice if we could just mock this interface, but we can't. So what does it normally do? It's like promise.resolve, I think. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got a mock command that complies with the command interface, and what we need to do now is we need to call it with the router. So we need to create a router with the mock command, and then we call the router here, and then it should be status okay. Router args. What does this do? Create user message false. Okay, yeah. What we can do here is we can say vg something prefix. So we do vg something, some arguments here. Bum, bum, bum. And since commands only should have arguments, and usernames are not with spaces in them, yeah, I think most of the times you just want to get like the arguments back. So like hello, if like you do vg vg pick 5, what I expect to get back is as arguments is just 5. And if they do vg something Bob Ross, then I can do Bob Ross as the argument. And then if there's ever a case where I need to just get one concatenate string again, I can always just join them back together. So I can always just do join with a space bar, and then I just get the old result back. But since most of the times I just need to split them, let's just make that the norm, because in most cases we don't need that flexibility. So here, what I expect here is I don't really care about the rest. I honestly don't really need this expect because I'm not expecting the results. Why are they arguing? we can expect now that the mock command dot, or no, the instance of this mock command. So we need to get this instance, mock instance. That the mock instance dot test has been called to have been called with. So what are we expecting? We're expecting this to be called with the message. So this should be called with this message. And then we also expect mock.instance.run to have been called with, yeah, here we go, this.client, which create router with the client. I don't think we can get the client off of the router, can we? This is private, I think, yeah. I think you can do expect any class type client interface. Does that work? Maybe. Oh, wait. We're doing test client here. Does that work? Yes. Okay, let's see if this works. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't think so. Class interface only returns type. Okay. So if in the factory, in the create router factory, what are we using? Create client, which is using test client. Okay, yeah, we can just assert test client. It's fine. That is fine. Any test client. So we're expecting it to be called with any test client, and the channel, which I also don't know. Channel. Here's our cats. Okay, apparently. We can just move that here too. Channel. Or are we overriding this somewhere? We'll see. Channel. And then we are expecting this to be called with... So message is not going to be the same message. We want this to be not the message anymore. Arguments. And then the user... So I think we might want to... We get the client and then we get an object back that contains the channel, the args, and the user. So that's changing everything surrounding the command interface. Contract. Because now we're not doing this anymore. We're now doing this. I'm going to sleep. What's up, Cozy? Have a good night, Lisa. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're expecting this rather than... Wait, why is this erroring out? Huh? Parsing error. Oh, you probably need to specify. So this is like data? I don't know what to call this. What is this? This is not options. This is like payload. And so you get a message back. So this is args, which is a string array. Yeah, okay. And this is the only thing. Yeah, this is all you're getting back. So now we need to change all of our commands. Message. Just so that the type passes. And then let's finish the tests. So this should be channel user is... What's the user? Create user. Oh god. Okay, yeah, let's just do this manually instead of using the create router args, because otherwise it's gonna be messy. Channel. Let's remove this channel. Let's just hard code this back in here. Create user. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's copy this. Bada bing, bada boom. Channel is Jizra cats. User is user. And then you call this with what's the Jizra cats, then the user, then the message, and then false. Yeah, it's fine. Excellent. And then we can use user here, and then we can also not say this. Where are we passing the client? Oh, the client is used inside, so that we can still keep that. And then we need args. Args to be arguments and here. Okay, so this is gonna fill all my tests and all my types. Wait, why are these types not failing? Ooh, that's bad. If I restart this bot, will it fail the type safety? Yes. So why is the test not failing when it cannot compile? Kind of weird. Maybe I just need to restart and then it just won't work. Like, how is it compiling? It's kind of weird. Anyways, all good. All good. As long as TypeScript is failing, then it gives me enough safety, because we're completely not implementing any of the interfaces now. So let's call this payload. So let's only take out what we need. Channel payload. We're implementing this payload. We're using the channel and the user here. Okay. All destructured elements are unused. What do you mean? What? Huh? What are you even saying? Cannot find name channel. Async run, and then we destructure this part out of it. Object pattern argument should be typed. Object pattern. What the fuck are you talking about? Require explicit return and argument types on exported functions and classes public class methods. Explicit types for function return values and arguments makes it clear that any calling code with what is the module's boundary input and output. Yeah, the problem is that I fucking have to copy everything in. Like, what do you mean payload's not used? Oh, here I need to do structure. Okay, well, this is not making it more like any more pretty than it already was, but you know, yikes. What we can also do is we can just call it payload and then destructure it down here. Also probably not making it any more pretty, but are we using the args here? I don't think so. This is the join command, so no, we're using the user here. Okay. Excellent. Beautiful. That's one command migrated to this new state, so let's just copy pasta this terribly looking thing. Boom. And then const payload channel user equals payload. Let's just copy this part and just yoink, like dump it anywhere in here. And then we're just gonna get args. And so then args is going to be used for this. Parse count message is something we don't really need to do anymore, except that we need to convert it to a number. So parse can still happen. So this is not going to probably make it any more pretty, except that we're just passing it the arguments from args, and then it's going to be args. It's going to be an array of string, and then all we need to do is take the first one, first arg out of args. And then we need to number convert it, just like what we had here. Count maybe. First arg. Args. And then we try to convert that, and if it's not a number, then it's null, and otherwise it's the number. Cool. So that doesn't make the code that much prettier, to be completely honest. Doesn't really help us that much. But that's okay. It is what it is. You empty, go away. Okay. Change this one as well. Okay, this one needs args too. Parse username from args from message, so we don't really need to do a lot of work here. So now we can just do args first, because this is guaranteed to be an array, and then if this is null or like undefined, then we can just use a username. Submatrian. And then its username lowercase is equal to username, which we can also do to lowercase, or just a chance that the user in there is not. And then everything else is fine. So we can just deprecate this whole ugly method, which is nicer. The rest is still not super pretty. And Q, it's the same thing. For Q, we only use the channel. Okay, so that's all of them now fixed. And now all of the tests are failing because they're not compliant with the new contract. It's funny how the tests are failing, but not the argument here, yeah, that's okay. That's what we knew. And then join spec, it should say just user display message. Doesn't work because this should be this. This is the message. So args, empty array, and then user. So that's all of these commands that we need to fix. I think we can just copy this. Oh, it was only one more. Okay, join should now work. Let's see. Router spec. Leave spec. Yeah, I don't think join is failing. Join. No. Awesome. Okay, so that's one test fixed. Here it's the same problem, so we can just copy it. This is the leave command, so leave should now be fixed. Can't tell because of the failing test, so let's just continue doing this. So here we have arguments now for pick. So we're passing hello, what the fuck is this? And all of these arguments are going to be parsed like this. Excellent. Then user this. Beautiful. Maybe we should do this one at the end. A bit more pretty. Nice. What's this? Expected comma. Right. No, that's... This one is expected a comma. No. Wait, what? Oh, wait. I'm just missing this here. Yeah. Cool. Okay, and the rest... With PG pick 0. So this should be 0 as a string. Because we don't do any parsing on router level. We just pass it the parameters that come in. Maybe we can define that that we want to parse parameters beforehand, but yeah, that's like some sort of like controller thing, you know? Maybe we should check how some frameworks do it and just do the same. So if we do pick without doing anything, it should do nothing. So that's pick. Oops, this should be replaced. And then it's empty args. Or this one is arg5 as a string. And user should be broadcaster user, and then 5. Unmodded user. Also with 5. And then normal user again. With 3. Bum 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 bum. Bum. This same and the same. Pick should now work. And then we have Q that's left. And position. So we just wrote all these position tests. And then we refactored everything. This should be unknown. Unknown. It should be empty. This should be empty. So I can copy this from here. Sick. This is target user. Target user. And then we have here empty. Same user. And here we have target user. Oh, we have a complicated one. So we have target user as a user. And then target username as an argument. Cool. So that should fix position. And now all we should have left is queue and router, I think. Yeah. So queue and router are the last ones. So then we've made a successful what? Oh, we need to pass everything. So let's yoink that from the other tests. User and channel. Channel, user, args. Arg is empty. That's not really what we're using for queue. Same here. Bada bing, bada boom. Router is the only test that should be failing now. Nice, so that's the case. So then we should check router spec because I don't think the router has implemented this correctly yet. So what we're passing now is an array of the message, but what it should do is it should strip off the arguments. So it should actually be some arguments here in the test as well. So we're using something and then some arguments here. That's what we're expecting the router to do. So then let's implement this. So if we take the message and we found a command that tests with this, what we can do now is we can strip off arguments as message dot string or substring from 0 or we can do string replace. What did we do before? So what did we do in the join command? No, in the pick command. Replace and then trim. But what they were doing in the other thing was split on this and then shift. But the problem is that you don't know if the command has a space in it, which ours has. So ours doesn't work like that. So what we should do is replace with the prefix of the command found and then trim. But then our test check is a little bit overrated. So we should probably also remove that from the command, because it should just have a prefix. So it should just rely on the prefix itself. So if we can say the command.prefix message.starts with prefix then we're fully relying on the command's prefix, and then we can just remove it from the command interface. But let's do that one at a time. So let's do the one commit at a time. So let's just keep test as is. We trim this part, and then we have a string that is just whatever comes after the prefix. And then if we do a split on space, then we get the arguments. So I think our test should pass now. It does. Excellent. Let's commit this. A lot of changes. New branch, refactor, command interface, design. Let's also have a test case for when there's no arguments though. So when the message is without arguments. Factory execute. We can do that again, but then with a different message. So let's just do this. Oh, we're relying on message here. Message 1. Do another message. Message without args. VG something. And message 1 to be message with args. And then we expect the same thing. But let's create another mock for this one. Mock instance 2. Yeah, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that kind of day, you know? These are like two kind of tests, but I don't want to split them off into two test blocks. So we have another run, boom, boom. So yes, 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 and then this should be empty. See if that also passes. Ooh. What is going wrong? Mock instance 2. Oh yeah, okay. We don't create a router 2. So router 1. It's getting ugly now. Router 2. And then we're still passing mock instance 1. So let's do mock instance 2. Now it should pass. And it should say retrieved something. Yes, so this should be also updated. See what the second test is, because that's the most important one. And then it's not correct. So we expected empty array, but what it got was an empty array with a string in it. That is not good. That's not what we want. Our router is not working, so this one gives us an empty string. Because it gives us an empty string and it calls split on it. So empty string dot split with a space gives us an array with an empty string in it. And in other cases, if we have Bob Ross fan club dot split space we get Bob Ross fan club. So then it's correct. So it's not correct when the length is 1. What's up, Sunin Shakiptar? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Please try and keep the chat in English though. But welcome anyways. Good to see you. Appreciate that you like still remember me from the old days. Oh man, how am I gonna fix this in a like elegant manner? If I don't trim, I will get space Bob Ross fan club split space, and then I can always take the first character off. But then if I have a space and I do split space, I will have 2, so that will still not work. Frick. Bum 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 bum. How did I do it in my other? I think we were doing something similar in our other Twitch bot. This is it. Handlers, command handler, substring 1. Substring 1. Yeah, because that's we always do exclamation mark something. So like we check that before. So we substring the exclamation mark and then we split on spaces. And then we check. Yeah, we shift the arguments with 1 and then you get the command part, but we have 2. And we could in theory have like anything we match on. So it doesn't really work for us. So I'm not sure we can have an elegant way of doing this. Here's a bot. Bot names. Like we can do it the ugly way like first, which would be like just move this to two parts. And just have like message after command equals this. And then you say if the message after command equals empty string, then you use empty array. Otherwise, just super ugly. Split space. Then this works. But it's not pretty. Wait, is this still incorrect? Wait, what does this return? Oh, wait, we're not trimming this. There you go. Yeah, so now it passes, but it's very ugly. Very, very ugly. Private function. If you just like turn this into a private method, then you will never know that it's ugly, so it's fine. It's like parse arguments. And then it does all this crazy magic. So it gets a message string. And then it parses all of that. Isn't this beautiful? And now this oh shit. Prefix string. Oh god. Or we can just pass in the command if we want. Parse arguments. Then we say args is this dot parse arguments command dot prefix with the message. You know, it's not that bad. Now all of a sudden, if you read this, it's fine, but if you read this, it's still ugly. But now at least the method looks okay. And sometimes that's good enough. The nice thing is it's covered by tests, and so we can refactor this if we have a more elegant way. If you do know an elegant way, feel free to post it in chat or to post it in the comments on YouTube. All good, all good. So everything is refactored now, with the benefit that we don't have to do argument parsing within the commands itself anymore. So for example here, we don't have to do that anymore. For numbers, we still have to parse them. So maybe what we can do is we can make a helper for that as well, and we can pull in. This is like helpers, and then we can say like number, or maybe it's parsers, parse, or parameter parses. Like it would be nice if a command can specify which parameters or like which arguments it expects so that the router can parse it for them. So that when it reaches the command, we have exactly the arguments that we can expect. Perfectly typed as well. But I'm not a TypeScript genius, so I might not be able to do that. So let's for now just create like a parser, and then we can reuse those later. Number parameter. Number param parser. So this is just going to be export function parse number arg parse number argument arg. I don't know. Args string. And then string or undefined, maybe? Arg? Because like you're accessing a parameter that could possibly return undefined. So which one needs that? Pick needs a number parser. Parse count. What we could say is, if we make this a class, we can kind of like interface it later. Number param parser. Then we can say parse args. No, arg. So that's string, always string or undefined. Let's create that that contract as well. And interface. Wait, let's just first not create too many things because this is already big. Let's remove that parser thing. because this is already a big commit. This. Okay, so this is good. Refactor command using args. Using. Ooh, is this only doing that? No, it's also changing the command interface. We could have done this in 2 commits, and I'm not sure if I want to go back in time and do all that. Because it's a lot of work. Using objects, destructure, objects. Okay, let's just do it in 1 commit, it's fine. So let's move this into command interface, so it's also easier for us to find it. I hated that I couldn't find it. And then export star from command interface. So now with the same, everything is working. And then we add parser interface, param parser interface, PHP. And then we say export interface, param parser interface, parse. Param is either a string or undefined. That's what we're working with. Oops. And it returns what this thing returns. So if we create a number parser and we export this and we import type, I think that's how you do it. Command, no, param parser interface. Export star from param parser interface from, oops, from contract. Implements this, and then we do number. We can now say that this returns a number. Wait. Args is defined but never used. That's fine. So like what we can do now is if... Ooh. So what should this return? So if you parse this as a number, it should always return a number? And what if it cannot parse this as a number? Should it then be not a number? So maybe all of the parsers should be like or null, but then that's kind of forced. Like maybe should this be? So if arg undefined, type of arg undefined, return null. If arg number, so this is like maybe number, is arg number arg. If number is none, maybe number, return null. Otherwise, return maybe number, because it's not maybe number anymore. And then we can... I'm we need to instantiate this parser. God damn. Hate that. Return new number parser. Maybe I'm over-engineering the shit out of it, but I have some ideas for these parsers to make it possible for the command to define them, and then the router will take care of them. But maybe I should just do that in that PR and not in this one. And then inside of the commands, we have pick, and then we say import number param parser from parsers, and then we say this one number parser create dot parse args 0. Not a fan of this. What if we just remove this and then still not a big fan, but it's okay. Maybe we should just call this number param and then parse. Like I like this to be a static method, but if I do that, I lose the power of the interface. Because you cannot create an interface for a static method on a class. So that really sucks. Just because we're handling undefined, it's also making the class a lot uglier. In our case, we could just parse this as 0, because for us it doesn't really matter. But like, I don't know if in the future we will have cases where we don't want it to be 0 because we want to handle 0. In this case, we don't really care. So if it's kind of null or whether it's equal to 0. If it is null, does it equal to 0? False. Okay. But null equals to null. True. And it also null, then also this is also true. Okay. Awesome. So we didn't really change much here. It's just like over-engineered the shit out of it. Like creating a parser for a number parameter. Okay, let's just create this as a static method just to make it a little bit prettier for now. And then we'll just delete the... Get rid of the interface. Revert all those changes, even though I kind of like them. Goodbye. Going back to old school. Oops, I should have kept that file. Import or export star from Number param static method parse number or null. And then not number parser here, parsers index number param this, and then just static methods. It's not finding it though. Oh, we need to reopen. No. Parsers. Export number param. Number param. Why is this also complaining? Oh, it's just having a hard time parsing everything. Or like, now it's fine. Yeah, okay. Just need to open that file once and then it works. How are my tests doing? Cannot find name number param. Yeah, I think I just added that back. Cool, so that's all good to go. Let's see if the bot still compiles. Cool. I think we should also add that to the CI pipeline because I feel like the tests are not always compiling. Look, if it's not implementing a class correctly, my tests will not fail even though my TypeScript doesn't like compile. It's kind of weird. Number param and then parse, and then we just remove this logic, which is all the same. And instead, we're calling args0 for the first argument, and then we're doing it in a safe manner of parsing that. We can also create an instance of number param with the arguments, and then parse, and then you type the index that you want to parse. I don't know. All good. This is all good. Refactor, move argument parsing to number param parser. What's up, Bakiful? Alright, so this is gonna be the last thing that I'm gonna review, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Description. Moves commands to changes the interface of a command to use objects rather than param actual params, method params. What we also did was parse arguments within the router and change the command to use args rather than having every command parse the message arguments individually. What else did we do? Added our first parser for parsing arguments safely. Future could be done in the future by the router. Router command router, but need to find a way to do it in a type safe manner. What are you doing? I'm finalizing the last bits of the viewer game chatbot that I have. And then I'm gonna go to bed. So we're mostly just refactoring or just changing some stuff to make the commands a bit simpler to build. while still remaining flexible enough to do what it needs to do. Cool, so we parse arguments. This is not the prettiest code, but I don't know what to do, how to do it better. Yes, this is just updating the tests. This is now fixed because of the argument parsing, which is great. We can now just get argument 0 and then fallback for username. We don't have actual tests for number param, but it's fine. This we've got it covered by testing the command itself. Panel, this is all the same. Pick 5, pick 3, pick 3, pick 3, pick 3, 5, 0. Oh well, what the fuck is this? Username. Is it bedtime? It is. I'm just doing my final review now and then call it a day. Oh. Wait. The app is still compiling, so that's great. So let's test it one more time. Here we can join. I think it would be nice to have this integration tested. Viewer game position. Viewer game queue. Viewer game. What else is there? Pick. The next players are okay. Viewer game queue. Viewer game. Leave. Even though I'm not in a queue. You could argue that that's a bug. You could also say it's a feature. And then your game get or position. Nice. Cool. Okay. Bot's still chilling. Okay, I think we're ready for alpha testing now. I think we've got everything implemented that is needed to be implemented. We made some big there's quite a bit of things to like validate. There's quite some things to validate. But I think we're yeah. Very curious how people are gonna use it. Maybe we need viewer game help. Maybe that will be the final one. But I think it's like I think we're kind of safe. I think we're kind of safe. I think we can just start like being online, start testing it, recording how people use it, and then just like go through it maybe the next stream and see what we need to change or what we could update, and then see well if we can actually get a sense of like how people would want to use this and what the feedback's gonna be. Maybe we need a viewer game feedback and then just have a Google form that people can fill in. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, are you gonna get people to use it? I have a bunch of streamers that want to try it out, and then I'm gonna explain to them how it works, and then hopefully I just want to see how they handle it, you know, from that point on. So I just want to see. I'm just gonna host the bot on their stream, and then just only have it on for them, and then I just tell them how it works, and then from that point on, it's from the streamer onwards, it's their responsibility how they handle it. Also to see like if they put any emphasis on it, whether they let the viewers themselves figure out how they're gonna do it, and and stuff like that. And then afterwards, I think I'll just create a session to just do some event storming or something to figure out like what they think is the thing that they're missing, or like how they really handle their video games and what they want to get out of it. Because I think there's a lot of potential here. Maybe they have no idea, could also be. That they have no idea what they're looking for, and then it's just for me to figure out what we could try. But I think the feature set that we had initially planned out, which was like being able to specify like the rules for your video game. Like you can only join if you're a subscriber, or you have priority when you're sub. I think those are the things that they want that could be useful. But I just first want to see like what the real first struggles are, to see like if we're already managing that, and they're asking me if I can continue for them to use it, then that's a good win for us. Then we know like, okay, this is something that they're using, that they're happy with already, and then from that point on, it's just looking for improvements and finding things that you can really help them with, so that they actually get hooked to the thing. But yeah, that's a whole research journey really, to figure out like, okay, this is the MVP. This is like our tiny thing that we're gonna push through, and then see if we can get this to work. And that's gonna be our starter alpha. And then the first thing that we're gonna do is just create a website for it, so that you can get this onto your own stream, like just by having it join your channel or something. But anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you for watching. And I'll be doing a programming stream every Wednesday now, just to get this project out. So if you like the programming streams, feel free to join or to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JustRockCats, and join in every Wednesday to follow along with the project and to ideate with me. So thank you, and see you guys later.